Welcome to MMB Live. I'm Christy Taylor, and MMB Live is brought to you by the Memphis Music Bank, powered by On Location Memphis. And I'm super excited to have one of our music publishers here, Dr. John Bell. I am looking forward to getting to this conversation on how medicine and music has intertwined. I definitely want to get to know who you are, the man behind the music, and all things that have to do with your love of music and your musical journey. So first and foremost, welcome to MMB Live, Dr. Bell.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. And I certainly appreciate you for bringing this into my home here in Tennessee. We're all practicing social distancing right now. So I certainly appreciate that. I'm not originally from Memphis, by the way. I'm actually from Greensboro, North Carolina, born and raised. But I came to Memphis based on my medical career, and I've been here, oh my gosh, let me just see here, probably well over 16 years now, and worked here in the city of Memphis at various hospitals and clinics here. And so I've been very blessed to care for a lot of patients in the city and care for just families overall, and preventing limb loss and death from diabetes and various other medical conditions that have encountered my patients. Now, as far as music is concerned, I've always been a lover of music. I remember going back to my days of being a kid in the church choir, just listening to my mom's records. She would have music from everybody, from Shirley Caesar. I remember going back to James Cleveland, the early days when everybody used to have to sing in the choir. And so I would have to sing in the choir too, in the church choir. And I remember my mom would just love Aretha Franklin and Motown. And so we would also listen to that on weekends, but we couldn't listen to it during the week. But on weekends, we would have the little cookout, the fish fries. And, that's where I began to just listen to the Motown sound, Smokey Robinson, all of your Motown greats. We would always listen to that. And that would always be wonderful in my home. So we would always be around that kind of sound. From there, the late, great Luther Vandross, I used to do talent shows doing his songs, Babyface, Teddy Riley, Guy, all of that. And then, you got into the New Jack Swing with when New Jack City came out. It just took on a whole new life for me. And from that time on, going through high school, I remember the early introduction of hip hop, KRS-One, Big Daddy Kane, Kid and Play. I remember, just that evolution of music.
Yes.
But you always got your mainstays like Aretha Franklin,
Yes.
Al Green.
Yes.
I remember Stevie Wonder was always played in the house, no matter what. And then you have likes of Anita Baker. Just a wonderful melody of love all the way around. And as we, throughout my medical career, music just stayed with me, and I just said, if I ever had a chance when I finished, going through medical school and practicing, maybe I would fall back on some of that love and just write my own songs one day. And so as we all do, as we just pull on some of the greats of music, you go back to what you love. You go back to listening to Rance Allen, B.B. King, Al Green again, Babyface, and now I'm listening to Alicia Keys, John Legend, some of the current artists of the day, and you just pull on their inspiration to inspire yourself. And music is an ever-evolving entity. So when I now have a little free time, I love to write music, and it helps me with my story as far as what I'm going through in life, and just easing the pressures of stress and the anxiety of life. Sometimes music is a great stress reliever. Writing music, it gives you a chance to therapeutically investigate yourself. And I have found that in my most challenging times, music has always been there to give me that rite of passage, if you will, just to make sure that my spirit was all right. And I noticed that the greatest writers write the best stories in music. And so the Memphis sound, all your Stax artists, such as Otis Redding and, all of the Barcade sound, all of those great guys and wonderful women of music here, Carla Thomas, etc. they all wrote wonderful stories.
That's true.
And I pull off that in my own music writing style. It's just the beautiful stories of music. And that's what really drew me into the Memphis sound, is just write my own music now.
Now, tell me, I mean, because you have a deep well of musical influences. I mean, you spanning 4 good solid decades of great artists and songwriters. And indeed, I know that it has influenced your music, which we feature in the Memphis Music Bank, and we'll get to that. When it comes to your own personal involvement or creation of music, was that something? I know you sang in a choir in church, but I see you're at a keyboard. So when did you start learning how to actually play music, and what instruments do you play?
I play a little of my keyboard here, and I enjoy playing that. It just gives me that to tie in. That's the predominant music I play, is little piano and keyboard.
Okay.
I just enjoy doing that because it blends all of your musical compositions together. It's like the construction of music when you look at the piano. So I love to harmonize with it. I love to be able to have key function with it. And, once again, I pull off the groups that really have done that marvelously well, such as the Rance Allen group.
Yes.
You think about all of the Anita Baker's compositions, Stevie Wonder's compositions, Alicia Keys' compositions, John Legend's composition. They always come back to that piano sound. Mm-hmm. And so I really enjoy that. And one premier artist who really does well in this area, such as Babyface. Babyface and L.A. Reid, they put out some of the greatest artists of our time, and they always construct the music around the piano. So in my own songwriting styles, I love to pull off that same R&B harmonic style.
Mm-hmm. So when it comes to songwriting, do you start with the music or you start with the lyrics? Everybody has their own songwriting approach.
You know what? It really comes down to how I feel. Sometimes the song comes into a written format and I'll write it down and I'll come with a song composition later. And then other times I'll just hum a tune and I will have something that I'm going through or something that I'm thinking about. And so it's just a little bit of a hybrid of just bringing those two things together, what I'm thinking in a written form and what I'm feeling in a musical composition form. And other times I may even reach out to a producer who has a very savvy type sound, who ties into my personality. In Memphis here, I've been blessed to work with some great producers such as Keelan Ellis, Jonathan Davenport, and they have been just awesome to work with in bringing out my own personality from what I have written in my music. And it just comes together to have made a wonderful sound.
Now, of course, Memphis has a strong music community, and you've named some amazing music producers, as you've stated. What have you learned over the 16 years you've been in here about yourself as a musician in the Memphis market?
I have learned that you have to be patient with music. Mm-hmm. I've learned that there's no such thing as an overnight success in music. Mm-hmm. I've learned that everybody has to pay their dues. Take your time. The light will shine on you, but you have to also have that inner light that people can see it and people can feel it. So if you're warm and you're a glowing light already, just believe in that and stay with it. There are no overnight sensations in music for the most part. There are hit makers and hit wanderers, but there is a legacy to creating that. Mm-hmm. And most people have to just go through the legacy of knowing themselves and being true to their music and letting it evolve with the help of great writers, great producers, great sound engineers, people who really see your sound and really can believe in you with your sound. If you compare yourself and compile yourself with those types of people, it really brings out the better of you. And so, there's no such thing as I can do all things by myself in music. You need producers, you need great writers, you need wonderful people who can do A&R for you, people who can really help kind of mentor your sound and help bring out the best characteristics that you have. I find out that, on my journey now, I'm really at the beginning. I'm really getting started. I'm a novice. And I want to stay at the beginner level. Why? Because it keeps me hungry to learn more. It keeps me ambitious. I know that I can't do everything all on my own. And so it lets me say, I need a producer sometimes. I need somebody to help me write. I need someone to help bring out my music. And that's why I love the music bank, because here I can endeavor with people who are already doing that. I can
Right.
endeavor with people like the great Angela Green, who also is a wonderful, wonderful business executive in her own right. And so she can pair me up with people who will say, hey, maybe you can go over here and learn this. Maybe you can go over there and learn that. And
Right.
so you have a plethora of a city that is historically bound into music already. So you
Yes.
can kind of tap into that wealth of reserves just to bring yourself to a better level. And I think that's so important to do as an artist.
I totally agree. And one of the things that I love about Memphis is that even when you're a transplant and you're not from here and you get into the vibe of Memphis, you know, they can be extremely supportive. You know, I'm not a native of Memphis as well, but I've been here long enough and very much involved in the art and music community. And, you know, it's a very collaborative environment. Now, of course, there are people who prefer to hang out and work with certain people, but overall, when you find your tribe, you know, it's a very supportive community of musicians. And one thing, and I've been noting in my interviews, is that music in Memphis, or should I say, people approach Memphis music in such a way where you're not bound to one genre. That's another thing I really, really love about this city, is that you could be a church musician and yet you can play in a band, you know, a rock band. I mean,
Yes,
you can play in a jazz band, and this could all
yes,
be, you can play play for the blues singers that's still here,
yes.
and it can all be in one week.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. And you know, that's the one thing that I enjoy about the Memphis sound, because I have had inspiration from jazz here, from blues here, from some rock bands here, from some country music artists here. And you got a chance to bring all of that wonderful blend into
Mhm.
this city. You know, let's face it, Memphis has the Bill Street Festival every year, and you
Yeah.
bring in people from everywhere here every
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
And you have such rich history here. You have the great living legend of Al Green here, the great Isaac Hayes is from here, all of your Memphis Stack Sound, even up to rock and roll with Elvis. So you
Yeah.
have a plethora of artists who you can still learn from. And let's face it, music never dies, because you have artists who've been gone from us for over 30 years and their music is still banging on the radio every day. You know, we all love it. We know every sound. And so, you know, you have people like Justin Timberlake, ironically, is from here. I mean, wonderful pop artist. I mean, who knew? You know, so that is what is so wonderful about the culture of Memphis and music. And I really love that.
To Justin Timberlake. Yeah, he's here. I mean, there
Yeah,
are.
Justin Timberlake is here, wonderful pop artist, and you have other even evolving bands that are
Mhm.
here. And you know, and I mean, he's a dynamic artist, just global, nationally known artist,
Yeah.
right from this area. So
Yes.
I always say, you know, even with a novice of a musician like myself, I am a fusion of a lot of various artists here, and I love learning all facets of music, from gospel to pop. It's just wonderful to learn.
Now, I want to jump to the Memphis Music Bank and your involvement. How did you get involved in that, and why did you feel it was important for you at this point in your musical journey?
I got involved with that basically after meeting Angela Green, executive director of the Music Bank. She was instrumental in copywriting a lot of my music. She was also instrumental allowing me to meet other producers such as Jonathan Davenport, writing contracts for me, making sure that my music was all copyrighted professionally, making sure that I had my membership with ASCAP, making sure that I had my licenses agreement, had it copyrighted with the Library of Congress, making sure that if my music leaves Memphis, that it could be credited back to me, making sure that if I had any royalties from my music, that it would be paid to me as an artist. That made a lot of sense to pair with her. And as an attorney and music executive of her own right, I found her to be a wonderful, wonderful advocate for, you know, my music. And I really trust her, and she was just a wonderful, wonderful colleague to pair up with my music and entrust my sense of, you know, starting myself out in music to pair it with her her group, and also with her skills in executive music, you know, copywriting and everything. It just made great sense, and it's been a wonderful ride with her.
And of course, you know, the Memphis Music Bank, with its focus on getting music producers and publishers like yourself placed into web series, television shows, film. Did you see that, you know, did you make that part of your own personal goal as a music producer?
I wanted to see where it could go. And my first thing was, just like all artists, we just want to be heard and get out there. Some of us don't know how to do it. We don't know where we're going to plug our music at. And you know, the music is an entity that's your own kind of your personal intellectual property, but you don't know where it's going to go. Right. So when you don't know where music is going to go, it's good to have a music bank that can say, hey, you can license and sync your music to videos. It can be into movies, into commercials. You could evolve it into ringtones. I mean, who knew? But without that knowledge, you don't know where your music are, and you don't know what other intellectuals or producers or in Hollywood and various other syndicates are looking for. So it's great to have the music bank to kind of plug you in, give you the knowledge, give you the tools that as you expand as an artist, you may have that one beautiful hit that the world is waiting on. But if you don't know how to market it and know how to place it, who could ever find it? So that's what the music bank was really, really instrumental for in my music, because it just gave me various channels that I can position the music for as I evolve as an artist.
Well, I love that. Now, I see that you're at this piano. It looks like you might want to, you know, tinkle the ivories just a little bit, you know, if you don't mind, just play a little something for me.
I don't mind. I will definitely give you a little something here, and let's just see. We'll take a round and see if we can do it real quick.
Okay, sir.
So I'll play you a little melody I've been working on and give you a little inside scoop of that.
Okay, is this a little quarantine practice?
Little quarantine practice. That's it. That's it. That's it. Let's see here.
I like that. So that's something you've been working on. Have you named it, or is it still a work in progress?
That tune is called Sunflower.
Sunflower, I like that. Yes. Had a really good vibe to it. Now, the music that you have in the Memphis Music Bank, what's the musical genre or style, if someone goes to the bank and they're looking for you, that they would say, okay, yeah.
My music is called Life Soul. So it's based on just songs of life, soul music, and R&B music of life. I have a plethora of jazz, soul music, R&B music, but it's all built around just good, common life soul music. And it's music that as you listen to it, it's about just episodes of my life and evolutions that I've been through. And it just gives people a little sense of reality. And sometimes we just need to know where the soul is of people to connect with ourselves. And so I just say I have a whole new genre called Life Soul. And so if you like Life Soul, check me out.
Okay, I like that. So if it sounds anything like you just, Sunflower, you said that's the name of it? Sunflower?
Sunflower.
That would be some, really great music, particularly web series, television shows, movies, nice little scenes. Walking in the park.
Oh yeah.
Okay, now as we come to the wrap up, I know people will want to keep up with you, Dr. John Bell. or do you just go by John Bell when you're a musician, or do you have a music?
You know what? It all works. I go by Dr. John Bell or John Bell. It doesn't really matter to me. I go by both. And I just say, you know, it's just good to be recognized. Professionally, I'm a doctor, but in the meantime, I'm always going to be John Bell at the end of the day.
Okay, so when it comes to being able to keep up with you, is there a website, social media?
Yes, you can go to Dr. John Bell, booksandmusic.com. That's probably the well of where you'll find videos, information on me, contact information, etc. You definitely can visit that area. It's medically, you can go to excelsiorpodiatryclinic.com for those who have medical insights, who want to check out me on the medical side. But those are the two sites that I have right now that are up and running. Definitely Dr. John E. Bell, booksandmusic.com.
All right, so Dr. John E. Bell, books and music.
Booksandmusic.com.
All right, and of course you can also check him out inside the Memphis Music Bank. Go to the website, yes. Memphis Music Bank, or on location memphis.org, and click on the link there, and you can find John Bell's collection of music. And
yes.
Thank you so much. This has been very, very informative. I haven't had the chance to really get to know you, but this has been extremely enlightening, and thankfully, you know, you're here in Memphis doing great work in the medical community and in the music communities. Thank you.
Thank you. And I certainly appreciate that. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity, this great time. I've enjoyed talking with you, and I've learned so much just from this opportunity to engage with you. Just what you're doing, and I certainly appreciate you highlighting us in the Music Bank, and thank Angela Green and all of you guys for shining the light on us, and we hope that this could be a great branch to reach out to many artists and many other people who just want to kind of delve into what we're doing as artists here in Memphis.
I agree. Well, thank you all so much, everyone, for checking out MMB Live, which is a division of the Memphis Music Bank, powered by On Location Memphis. And we'll see you next time. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, share with a friend, and we'll see you next time.